Namaskar. So today we will continue from Sloka 9. Karma Yoga is most important because the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to make Arjuna active with his karma. Here, today, from verse number 9 to 16, is a very specific purpose with which Bhagavan is describing Karma Yoga. As in the previous up to 7, Bhagavan was telling nobody can escape from karma. Here, Bhagavan is establishing that each and every element in nature also have no escape. It is not human being, it is not every living being, every part of the nature, the whole universe, the whole force of energy around us, all of us as the nature is, or we have to learn from the nature that nature is also doing its job without any discrimination. Sun is giving light in every part of the world. It doesn't look at caste, creed, financial background, positions, power. So the best manager in the world, the best person who is a karmic, without any delay, it does its job. Therefore, people say, if anyone wanted to become the best manager, learn from sun. In astrological chart, the position of sun shows your physical aspect, authority, initiative, karma, etc. The Karma Yoga, the yoga of action, here talks about 9 to 16, talks about sacrifice. When you talk about sacrifice, the sun is burning itself and then spreading its light everywhere. So the best symbol of sacrifice is sun itself. Therefore, as an Agnihotri, when I conduct my Agnihotra, what do I chant? Everything around this world, everything on this earth, living, non-living, every creature, every material depends on sun. Therefore, when we eat a little bit of rice, we don't have to claim this is purchased from my money. Agriculturalist cannot bold himself saying that yes, I made it, because nothing works without Surya. Therefore, when we take little bit of rice and ghee and put it to the symbolic sun, that is fire, the fire is considered as the symbol of sun. What I chant as an Agnihotri is Agnaya Swaha, Agnaya Idam Namama, or Suryaya Swaha, Suryaya Idam Namama. Surya, please have it. This is yours, it's not mine. Prajapadaye Swaha, Prajapadaye Idam Namama. This belongs to the whole world, people around me and not me. That bhava is what is sacrifice bhava. You don't own anything. It's all the nature's. So when we talk about sacrifice, it is not seen as we doing sacrifice. Bhagavan takes us to the whole nature around us and explains everybody. The body means not our colleagues and our friends, not every living being alone. Every planet, every aspects of energy around us, all of them are part of Yatna. With a few slokas, 8 slokas, 9 to 16, Bhagavan is establishing that the whole world is living, thriving, just because that Yatna Bhava, every object, planet, energy, we, all of us, all living beings, are doing as a sacrifice. So what does the sloka say from 9 onwards? Yatnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaundeya mukta sangas samachara sahayatna praja srishtva purovacha prajapati anena prasavishyadhvam eshavostishta kamaduk devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayanduvam parasparam bhavayandaha sreya parama vapsyatha ishtan bhogan hi devo deva dasyante yatna bhavitaha tairdattana pradhayaibhyo yo dunkhe sthena evasam yatna shishtashinas sando uchyate sarva kalbishaihi bhunjate te tvakham papa ye pajantyatma karanat annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha yatnat bhavati parjanya yatna karma samudbhavaha karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagadam brahma nityam yatne pradishtitam evam pravartitam chakram nanu vartayatiha yaha aghayurindriyaramo mokham parthasa jivati. So up to 16 is a bunch in which Bhagavan is explaining everything around us is in Yatna Bhava. This beautiful concept is what we are learning as part of Karma Yoga from sloka number 9. Yatnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaundeya mukta sanga samachara. Yatnarthat, for the sake of sacrifice, karmanonyatra, karmana, that action for the sake of sacrifice than the action. That means don't consider whatever you do is an action. Consider it as a sacrifice. You are doing it as a sacrifice, not as a karma. Any job is to be considered as what you offer to God. Sacrifice is what you offer to God. With that bhavam, that sankalpam, the yatna bhava, the yatna spirit, as volunteer surrendering to God is my action. That is what already Bhagavan said. Here it is establishing by saying that it is a yatna. Otherwise, anyatra, if you don't do it as an yatna bhava, that karma, Lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Lokoyam means the material world. The lokaha ayam. That which creates the world. That is the materialistic world. Karma bandhaha. That will become a bondage to your own work. Tadartham karma kaundeya. Tat. That. Artham. For the sake of karmam. That action. Kaundeya. O my son of Kundi. That means whenever he calls Kaundeya, that means Bhagavan is very close to him. Right? Mukta Sangha Samacharaha. Mukta Sangam. Do it free from attachment. See, even when Bhagavan is telling Arjuna to be free from attachment, the word he uses is, oh my son of Kundi. That doesn't mean he doesn't have an attachment to Arjuna. If there is no attachment between Krishna and Arjuna, why he has to give this lecture? So, this Mukta Sangha, Sangha is not to be considered as attachment. Whenever in Bhagavad Gita, the word attachment means binding. You get bounded to that. You get a sort of a relation where you cannot get rid of that and you become inactive because being too emotional. That situation should not come. Samacharaha. Performing. Acharam. Acharanam means performance. Samacharaha. Perform properly. Whatever you do as a sacrifice, performing for the sake of God as an offering, without having any attachment to the worldly, materialistic satisfaction around you, that is yatna. With that yatna bhavam, Arjuna, you must do every job. Then what will happen? Whatever you do will become everything around you, the position, power, money, wealth, relationship, all that is a bondage for you around you. That will go. See, this sloka, 9th sloka in Karma Yoga, actually is the concluding verse in 18th chapter, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. So this is what is the chavi, the key for Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. That's why Bhagavan is able to say, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vracha. Sarva Dharman Parityajya. All your bondage around you have to be left. Then what is to be done? Surrender to me. That is the sacrifice. Every action which you do it for the God is what is called a sacrifice. Aham tva sarva pabebhyo moksha ishyami ma shucha. I will take you from all the papas and make you ma shucha. Ma shucha. Not sad. I told you Bhagavad Gita starts in the 2nd chapter. Ashochananyashocastvam. And ending in 66th sloka with ma shucha. So the ultimate aim, if you don't want to be sad, if you want to get out of distress, do your job as a sacrifice to God. That is what the essence of 9th sloka in 3rd Karma Yoga chapter. It's a beautiful sloka. Yatnarthat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaundeya Mukta Sangha Samachara. Mukta Sangha Samachara. Sangam Tektva. We have already seen in 2nd chapter. Yogastha Kuru Karmani Sangam Tektva Dhananjaya. Siddhyo Asiddhyo Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Yuchati. If you have that Samabhavam, that means whatever I am doing is not for myself, for the entire world, that becomes for the God. And that activity which I do for God becomes a sacrifice from my part. And such people who does it reach to the level of Yogastha. Chapter 2 already established this. So the repetition is possible. That is what is permitted in Bhagavad Gita. That is what a master is supposed to do to a disciple. until his doubts are cleared. Keep on repeating it in different style. In teaching methodology also, we have got different styles of teaching. Deductive, inductive, and discovery, apprentice type. Lot of different styles. It's explained in my book on education. Adaptive learning. How do a master adapt to the student based on the situation? That's called adaptive learning and adaptive teaching. These are all what you can learn from Bhagavad Gita. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. After saying this second chapter, 48th sloka, Bhagavan need not repeat it. But here, third chapter, one of the most punching sloka, which again is the end of Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, 66th sloka. Again you can see in Karma Sannyasa Yoga also the same sloka will repeat. Not in one, multiple slokas you can see. Again it is not the end of Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, in the beginning of Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Same sloka number 9 which we are dealing in Karma Yoga, you can see in Moksha Sannyasa Yoga chapter sloka number 9. What a way of writing a book. If you really enjoy cross-referencing Bhagavad Gita from one line to another line, when you learn, look back what you have learned, reference it like this and learn, it becomes so interesting and potentially your learning become connected to each other. So that is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. Now having done this, let us go to sloka number 10. The sloka number 10. Saha yetna praja srishtva purovaja prajapatim anena prasavishyadhvam eshavostishta kamaduk. Eshavostishta kamaduk. Saha yetna praja srishtva. Saha yetna, along with yetna, praja, the whole humankind, srishtva, created by the Srishta. Brahma created all of us not as a living being, as an object. We are all gifted with that ability to do yatna. With all that ability, the bhava in us, which can perform everything as a sacrifice, that ability to do it also is given to us when Srishta, the Brahma, created all of us. Sahayatna praja srishtva. Along with the sacrifice ability, we are all created. Puro vacha prajapati. Puro vacha. The beginning, vacha, whatever is said, who? Prajapati. This is what? In the beginning itself, the Prajapati, the Brahma, told already. This is how he has created all of us. Anena prasavishyadhvam. Anena. By this, anena, anena, without that, with this, by this, confirming this prasavishyadhvam, that create the prosperity in all of us. Whenever we give, what happens? It comes back to us with interest because we are giving to God. Anything which you do with that happiness, when you give something to somebody else, that happiness in you is much higher than you are consuming and deriving happiness out of it. Suppose you are eating something and you are giving it to somebody else. Eating something will give you some satisfaction, but when you give it to somebody else, that satisfaction which you derive is much bigger than, much higher than having it by yourself. Esha vestushta kamaduk. How does it gives back to us? Like kamadhenu, kamaduk. Like the bestower of all the wishes, we have a cow, a conceptual cow which we have, that is called a kamadhenu. You ask anything, kamadhenu will give. That similar to that, whatever sacrifice you give, whatever you give to somebody else, whatever you do for somebody else, with that bhavam, that sacrifice becomes a kamadhenu for you. See, Bhagavan is not telling you should not have that desire. That attachment should be there for you, because Bhagavan already said without work how do you survive? That means for survival you need that. And what is that a mother gets while taking care of the child? That satisfaction which she derives is much more than the comfort probably the child is having. So the mother's happiness is what is the kamadhin of the sacrifice what she is doing. So whatever that blessing which we get from Bhagavan is much higher. That happiness, the God's wishes, is what is coming back to us, and that is like a kamadhenu. Non-stop it comes to you. Eshavo, these, that, eva, your, astu, that which you get is like a ishta kama dukh. Ishta kama dukh. As a kamadhenu bestows the wishes of everybody around that kamadhenu, similarly you can get everything back to you. Don't do it but with that wish also. Then it becomes again not a sacrifice. Yesterday I told you, if you do upavasa, telling 100 people or whoever is around you that you are doing upavasa itself nullifies the effect of upavasa. Having sufficient food, not having food is what is sacrifice. It is not that when you are not having sufficient food and you are not eating, that cannot be sacrifice. The sacrifice is you don't want when you have it. That means first you should have, then only you can do sacrifice. Correct? Therefore you have to do work to attain whatever you want. Assume that you have to gift money, first you should earn money. So there has to be a period in which you are earning money, then only you can gift. So understand this relationship. Okay? So the sloka number 10. Sahayatna praja srishtva purovacha prajapati anena prasavishyadhvam yeshavostishta kamaduk. I remember one day when I was in Iringarakuda. It was a Wednesday working day. One of the principal of the neighboring school, it's a higher secondary school, he came to me and then he knows me that I am a person who is into spiritual activities. I go for prabhashanam. He came and asked me, I want some contribution from you because we are running an orphanage where we picked up all the people who are all on the street, who are all asking for alms, begging and surviving. And then he and his few colleagues have started a small place, hermitage, wherein which all these people are kept. And he wants some help from me. Basically, it is easy for satisfying somebody, but I am basically a teacher who wanted to teach the principles what is learned in our traditional scriptures. So I asked him, what is your job? So I am a principal. What is the time now? 11 o'clock. School is functioning today? Yes. Do you have an attendance there? Yes. Then why are you wandering around here without doing your job? Are you on leave today? No. I am on official. I am there officially. Okay. What you have done? You have picked up a lot of people who are begging on the street and put them in a house. And what are you doing now? You are begging. Your job is not begging. You are not supposed to ask somebody, help me, help me, help me. They would have lived very happily with, anyway they don't do any job. They don't have any job. None of them are studying, none of them are doing anything. They are just sitting, eating and then lying. They should have done the begging. That is their job. And what is that you have done? You left your job in an office time and you are doing this begging job. See, Bhagavad Gita clearly says you are supposed to do your job dedicated. That is best and good. Anything which you do other than that has to be a sacrifice from you. Whatever you earn, whatever you have earned from you, you give it. That is what you are supposed to do. This doesn't mean social service should not be done. That you should do extra from See, this cannot be an excuse for you to skip your office. Then, whatever you are supposed to do as an action is not what you are doing. So understand, each one of us have a role in this world to play. We have to play that very, very effectively. That is what the message of Bhagavad Gita says. So now, Saha Yatna Praja Srishtva Puro Vaja Prajapati Anena Prasavishyadvam Eshavostishta Kamaduk. Now, 11th one. Devan Bhavayatanena Te Deva Bhavayantuva Parasparam Bhavayantaha Sreya Paramavapsyatha. What does it say? Devan Bhavayatanena. Considering the God in front of you with that bhavam, with that pleasure and happiness, ena, all your sacrifices, what you are doing should be done, thinking that God is in front of you. When you give rise to somebody else, when you give knowledge to somebody else, don't have the garv, ego in you. You are serving God. Te bhava bhavayantuvaha. Then, if you serve like that, what will happen? The God also will serve you in the same way. The God will become your servant. If you serve people in that bhavam, God will serve you. Parasparam bhavayantuvaha. You will become a mutually tie-up person. You do something for him, he will do for you. Parasparam bhavayantaha. With that bhavam, if you do, Sreya Parama Vapsyatha. When you do your prosperity, Sreyas will go to Paramam, Supreme, Vapsyatha. And that state you will achieve. That means you can raise to that whatever Arjuna wanted. What is Sreyam for him is to be advised. So this is the best thing. Do it as a service to God. You are not looking for any benefit out of it, but you are doing it as a sacrifice. Therefore, God will cooperate with you. That will be a agreement, contract between you and God. Whatever you do for God, God will get back to you. That reaches you to the Paramasreyas. The Paramasreyas. The Sreyas in the Paramavastha. Sreya Parama Vapsyatha. The Paramasreyas will come to you. Devan Bhavayatanena Te Bhava Bhavayantuva Te Deva Bhavayantuvaha Parasparam Bhavayantaha Sreya Paramavapsyatha. And this is what the Bhagavan is guaranteeing. Who is telling this? Bhagavan himself is telling. So we can 100% believe that. Because it happens. Whatever Bhagavan says is a guarantee. Now, the Bhagavan again will give you some guarantees. In the 9th chapter, there is a beautiful sloka, which is in the Life Insurance Corporation's emblem, it is there. So he says, Ananyas Chindayanto Mam Yojana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogachemam Vahamyaham Ananyas Chindayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate. Whoever is serving me without any other selfish thoughts, Ananyas Chinda, without any chinda, fully surrendering to God, if somebody does, Paryupasate, whoever is serving me, Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogachemam Vahamyaham. To such people, I will take care of them. See, this sloka actually is connecting to that. And that is supposed to be the key for Bhagavad Gita. Because in the 9th chapter, the center of Bhagavad Gita is where this sloka, I think it is 23rd sloka, yeah. 22nd sloka. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogachemam Vahamyaham. If somebody asks me what is the key for Bhagavad Gita, the whole world Bhagavan is giving guarantee that I will support you only in one place. That is in Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter 22nd sloka. And that exactly is what the 3rd chapter 11th sloka. Half of that. 22nd, 11 here. 9th, 3rd here. Right? Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaham parasparam bhavayantaha sreya paramavapsyatha. What a beautiful relationship, and what beautifully you can learn Bhagavad Gita. Sloka number 12. Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyande yatna bhavitaha dasyande yatna bhavitaha tairdattana pradayebhyo tai adattana pradhayebhyo yo bhunge sthena eva saha. What does it say? Ishtan bhogan. What is that Ishtan bhogan? Ishtan, what is desirable to me? Bhogan, which are necessities of my life, which satisfies me. That he certainly, that will reach you from where? O Deva, whatever is required for you and whatever is good for you, whatever is desired for you, not your wish. God knows what is your wish. If you are a true Bhaktan, you will not ask anything to God, because God will know what you require. And that requirement and that necessities of life, whatever you have, will be given by God to you. You will see this repeated in the chapters on Bhakti Yoga. Dasyande yatna bhavitaha. And he will grant you. He will become your dasan. He will come and serve you. For what? Yatna bhavitaha. As his sacrifice to you. His service to you will become a sacrifice. And whatever is satisfied by the sacrifice what you get itself is your satisfaction, your desire, defined by God, if you are a bhakta for him. Therefore, while doing sacrifice itself, you will get the satisfaction. That itself becomes your blessing. Tai datan, by them, datan, things will get granted. Apradaya, without offering, assume that whatever you are getting, ebhyaha, whatever they are giving, assume that you keep on eating, you keep on satisfying yourself without the sacrifice bhava inside you, without yatna bhava, you enjoy whatever you have, everything around you. Yo bhaktaha sthena. What cruel, strong, punching, stabbing actually. Bhagavan says, yo bhunkte. Those people who will enjoy themselves like this without giving back to God, sthena. They are called thieves, stealers. You have a lot of money and you are only enjoying, you don't share it to anybody else. You have a lot of knowledge, you are not sharing to anybody else, you are only eating. You are only selling it for your materialistic benefit. Sthena eva saha. Such people are called thieves. Such people are called stealers. So, if you serve somebody else, that will come back to you. If you don't serve, you are sthena. You are papi. Sreshtham will not be there. The great positions of the Sreshthatma will not come to you. Ishtan bhogan. Very carefully. Ishtan bhogan hivo deva. Dasyande yatna bhavitaha. Dasyande yatna bhavitaha. Tai dattan apradayebhyo. Tai dattan aprabhayebhyo. Yo bhunkte sthena eva saha. Beautiful. Now, the sloka number 13. Yatnashishtashinah sando muchyante sarvakalpishai bhunjate te tvakham papa ye pajandyatma karanat. Yatnashishtashinah sando uchyante sarvakalpishaihi bhunjate te tvakham papa ye pajandyatma karanat. Yatnashishtashinah sando, a saintly person who is a Swami, who is a Brahma, who understands Brahma, who is a true devotee, who is at the highest level, a saintly person. Yatnashishtashinah sando, he caters to that whatever the sacrifice materials, the yatna, havis is what is that you give yatna. Whatever the havis, the drivyam which you give, the food which you offer as sacrifice, that saintly person who gives, uchyante, that muchyante, get released from sarva kalpishaihi, whatever sin so far he has done, from there all kinds of papa which if at all a person has done, from there he will get released if you do yatna karma. Bhunjade, and you enjoy, they tvakham, kham is sin, that sin and papas, if you don't do it you will get papa and you will have to suffer. But if you do yatna with that yatna bhavam, then you will be relieved from all the papas. Ye pajandyatma karanat, that food which you cook, pachandi, that which you cook, atma karanat, for their own sake, and then you eat, then the papa will come to you. If you are only satisfying your requirement, you are so selfish, then that results in papa and you will become tvakham, sinner. So eat only that papam you will eat, that food you eat yourself without sharing to anybody else. Any service which you do, you are doing it in selfish style. Whatever benefit you get is the papa itself. That cannot be considered as a sacrifice. You are not doing sacrifice, then whatever you do, see, the whole water in the ocean does a sacrifice. With the sun, it gets evaporated, it goes up. With that sacrifice, it goes up. The river, ocean, all the sea is sacrificing its water. Where is it giving? To sun. Sun is the god. Giving it to sun god. What sun god does? It purifies the water and then showers it back. It showers it back. Where is it showering back? Not in the ocean, but all around the world, earth, where it is really required, all such places water is given, and all that water which is excess cleans the earth and then goes back and joins in the ocean. From that ocean again, the same sun cleans the water and takes it up. So this is the sacrifice with the nature does. So every nature is also part of this sacrifice. But when the nature does it, what happens? The water gets purified and then comes back to earth. So sun is taking water from earth, but it gives back to earth. This is what Bhagavan does. This is what Bhagavan says. It gets purified. All your papa, all your dirtiness will go. This is how you can see these slokas and interpretation in the nature. I love to interpret things in the nature, right? And sun is actually Vishnu. It is Krishna. Yatna shishtha shinah sando uchyande sarvakalpishaihi bhujyade te tvakham papa ye pajandyatma karanat. If you don't do it, you will be a sinner. Papa is what you are eating. You have no escape from that. So, what is to be done? Every action which we do have to be considered as a sacrifice. Got it? And this is again the example which I gave. If you think in that bhavam as a sacrifice, all the action which we do, the next 3 slokas will become so beautiful. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha yatnat bhavati parjanya yatna karma samudbhavaha annat bhavanti bhutani. Annat, food. From the food, the living beings comes. What does it mean? Without food, living being cannot live. So, anna itself, annam is every grain, every food, what is produced by Brahma. And that what anna does, it sacrifices by himself. The anna itself gets into our body. Therefore, anna has an energy that has a life. If you put that grain in the Panchabhutatmaka stage, you just throw it, it will start growing. So it has energy. What is it doing? The life itself is sacrificed by every grain what we eat to make us stronger and happier. It's a sacrifice done by the anna. Annat bhavanti bhutani. From that sacrifice is all the living being is living. Parjanyat anna sambhavaha. The rain water is the cloud on the top. It burns itself, it shatters itself and then comes down. So the parjanyam, rain itself is doing sacrifice for what? For the annam. Annam is sacrificing for us. Rain is sacrificing for the annam. And then the food production happens, right? Parjanyat anna sambhavaha. Yatnat bhavati parjanyo. How the water comes? That is yatna. Just now I said, what is that yatna? The sun takes water from the ocean and the river and the sea and it boils up and then take it. And that becomes a yatnam, because anything which you surrender to sun, which gives to sun, that is what happens, the vapor goes up. Therefore, yatnat bhavati parjanyo. Rain itself is a yatnam. And because of that rain, it goes into the field and from there the anna will come. The anna does its sacrifice and then the living being gets on. Yatna karma samudbhavaha. That is how the yatna karma happens. Every object, every living being, every material, every natural forces, every Panchabhuta does its job. They are all doing its prescribed duty. As what? As the part of a big yatna. So whatever we are doing is part of a big yatna. Why? Because we are all born for that purpose. Samudbhavaha. Born for that purpose. Udbhavam itself is for that purpose. That's what is life cycle. Beautiful, is it? So this keeps on happening. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha yatnat bhavati parjanyo yatna karma samudbhavaha. This is one of the beautiful sloka. Living being becomes food. With the food they live. The food comes from the rain. The rain comes from the sacrifice. All of us are doing our prescribed duties as Brahma created us for doing all these duties. Now, the 15th sloka. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yatne pradishtitam. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi. Karma, my duty, as originated from the Brahma. That means from the Vedic literature. What is that knowledge, what is given to all of us, that makes us to do our karma. Udbhavam, which is prescribed, which is manifested. That vidhi, you should know that. You have no escape. You have to know this. Brahmakshara samudbhavam. The Veda itself, which is Aksharam. Ksharam is which is destroyable. Aksharam is which is imperishable, undestroyable. That Vedic knowledge, that Brahma knowledge, that energy, that sacrifice which goes as a cycle, which samudbhavaha, which comes, tasmat sarvagatam Brahma. All that is Brahma. The beginning is Brahma, end is Brahma. Whatever happens is between all that created by Brahma. Nityam yatne pradishtitam. Therefore, certainly every one of us are established in that sacrifice. Do you want to be part of it? That's what Krishna is going to ask. The duties of human being, as per Veda, is to do sacrifice. And that Bhagavan which gave us this power of sacrifice is a great blessing. That is what Bhagavan wants us to do. For that the knowledge is given to us. Not everybody gets. Those who get that knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, those who can understand and then do every activity which he does as a service to the nation, service to the people, service to the world, service to every creature. That is why Anna Pradana Mudyanam, Ishtapurtam, when I was describing, look at Ishtapurtam in the YouTube, whatever I told earlier. That when I described it, I said, every creature in the world has to be fed. And that action which is done as a sacrifice by me is a service to God. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi. Brahmakshara samudbhavam. Brahmakshara samudbhavam. Tasmat sarvagadam brahma. Tasmat sarvagadam brahma. Nityam yatne pradishtitam. Nityam yatne pradishtitam. That is established. That is by the foundation is in yatna. Therefore, everything what we do is part of that yatna. Evam pravartitam chakram. Evam pravartitam chakram. Nanuvartaya dihaya. Akhayurindriya ramo mokham parthasa jivati. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati haya. Akhayurindriya ramo mokham partha sajivati. Evam pravartitam chakram. We have already seen. It goes as a chakram. It repeats by itself. It's in a cyclic action. Evam pravartitam chakram. That is how it is set into the motion. It moves on and on. The Kala Chakram goes like Yatna Chakram goes. There is another Chakram like Kala Chakram. Yatna Chakram. What is the Chakram? You do service to your children. The child will grow up. The child will do service to its kid. The child also is supposed to serve the mother when the mother becomes old. What sacrifice? The mother took care of the child. With the same sacrifice bhavam, every child is supposed to take care of his or her mother or father. When that does, then only whatever sacrifice the parents have done for the children, if you have really done with a sacrifice without expecting anything, but if you have done it with that bhava, oh, my child will grow up and then he will give me salary, that whatever is the earning which he gets, he will put AC to my house and he will make me to sit in an AC. Therefore, I have to give him education. Therefore, I have to feed him because he wants strength. That is not sacrifice bhava. Even if you are doing it only for your children, that also is not sacrifice bhava. That itself is not your duty. Whatever you do to others, then definitely that will come back to you. Evam pravartitam chakram, such activities which you do and keep it in motion. Nanu, no. Anuvartayati, that follows. In this life, itiha, yatiha, in this life itself it will come back to you. That will follow. Akhayurindriya ramo, the sinful living, akhayu is which is not with that bhava. Indriya aram, what is aram, what is good for you, what is that you can just enjoy, just for that enjoyment, what delights you. If you are only doing all the activities to satisfy your indriyas, if that is your bhavam, aghayur indriya ramo, if that is what you are doing, all the activities for just satisfying every karma which you do, then what will happen? You cannot run away with your activity anyway. There are two options. One is be part of this chakram, be part of the whole nature which is doing the sacrifice. It is a yatna which is not you are doing. The whole world is into that. Do you want to be part of it? Or do you want not to be part of it? If you don't want to be part of it, what will happen? You will only satisfy your indriyas, your satisfaction, your sensory pleasure, and you run away from this karma because you don't want to be part of this. Then what will happen? Mokham. Whatever you do outside this will become vain, which will become waste. Partha sa jivati. If you want to live, be part of this system. Be part of this chakram. Be part of this sacrifice chakram, which is prescribed by God, defined by God. Every creation in this world is created for being part of this sacrifice. Nature is part of it. Vayu, Agni, Jalam, Bhumi, Apa, everything. And even the space. Everyone is part of this pravartitam chakram, this sacrifice chakram. As everybody is part of it and Brahma created all of this for being part of this chakram, you have no other option to get out of it. But assume by sinful action, by your selfish intention, you get out of this. What will happen? That will become the biggest sin and you cannot get out of that. You cannot run away from that sin. So you have to run away from this action or you want to run away from the sin. If you want to run away from the sin, be in this action. Be with everyone. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati haya akhayur indriya ramo mokham parthassa jivati. See, this sloka is very, very, very apt during this COVID distress time. The whole world is sacrificing. Every one of us are shutting ourselves and sitting inside. The self-quarantine. For me, it is self-quarantine for now. But for many people who are not having job, they are doing their best sitting at home and then being part of it. Do you want to work sitting at home, being part of it? Or do you want to idle this time just to satisfy your sensory organs? Yeah, always music, always drama, always fun. No creative activity, no learning, always eating, cooking food and eating. That is satisfying your Annamaya Kosha. Don't you want to have something for your Vijnanamaya Kosha? Only that materialistic thing you want? Fun is possible. Yes. There are no protection of eye is by the eyelids. Rest belongs to the work with no eyelids to the eyes. If you are not taking sufficient pleasure in your life, the life itself becomes boring. But life cannot be full of pleasure. That pleasure in quotes. If the work itself is a pleasure, that is so profession and passion. That has to be mixed, for which you need to learn. If you don't invest time on learning, when are you going to do it? So be part of this chakra, where the physical level people can live. From there, emotional level, most of us are reaching. Intellectual level, very little people. For getting their degree, getting a job, they study for certificates. That is intellectual level. When you do that for the society, you reach the next level, fourth level. That is social level. When you do it with the spiritual bhavam, sacrifice bhavam, we are in that spiritual level. That is what I keep on propagating fivefold development, fivefold development. Your physical strength is good. That only can give you emotional. That only can give you intellectual. But that has to be spread higher and higher, reached for the society. Everyone has got their own way of serving the society. Do it. Be part of that chakram. That is what is essential. So this bunch of slokas from 9 to 16 is on sacrifice. So tomorrow, after this, we will go to the 17th to 24, another bunch of slokas where Bhagavan says the wise action which you do, even as part of God himself, he is supposed to do. Now all the nature is part of it. All the creations are part of it. Now Bhagavan will explain in the next bunch of slokas that Bhagavan also is part of this. Right? Let us chant this once. Yatnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaundeya yuktas sangas samachara sahayatna prajas srishtva purovaja prajapati anena prasavishyadvam eshavo tishta karmaduk devan bhavayanadena te deva bhavayanduva parasparam bhavayandaha sreya paramavapsyatha ishtan devan hi devo va ishtan devan hi vo deva dasyande yatna bhavitaha tairdattana pradayodbhyo yo bhunkte sthena evasa yatnashishtashinah sando muchyande sarvakalpishai bhujjade te tvakham papa ye pachandyatmah karanat annat bhavad dibudhani parjanyadanna sambhava yatnat bhavadi parjanya yatnah karma samudbhavaha കർമ്മ ബ്രഹ്മോദ്ഭവം വിദ്ധി ബ്രഹ്മാക്ഷരസമുദ്ഭവം തസ്മാത് സർവഗതം ബ്രഹ്മ നിത്യം യജ്ഞേ പ്രതിഷ്ഠിതം. ഏവം പ്രതിഷ്ഠിതം ചക്രം നാനുവർത്തയതീഹയ അഘായൂരിന്ദ്രിയാരാമോ മോഘം പാർത്ഥസ ജീവതി. നമസ്കാരം ടു ഈച്ച് വൺ ഓഫ് യു.